In the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to show you exactly how to understand exactly what's going on here. So by the end of this video, I want you to be able to understand exactly what this means and how to read it. Okay, let's get into it right away. No more wasting time. Okay, first few things that we need to cover, right? So the first thing that we need to cover is the heat map and the volume bubbles, right? And so that's what we're going to get into. So if you see, all I want you to focus on right here is the left side of this chart, right? So don't focus on this right side of the chart, just the left side, okay? And then also I want to go ahead and see if I can make it a little less busy for you here, right? But by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what all this means, okay? So let's start breaking everything down piece by piece, right? So we have two parts to this whole thing we've got going on, right? We've got the heat map, okay? And we've got the volume bubbles, right? We get the heat map and the volume bubbles. The heat map is this part right here, the thing that keeps disappearing. That's the heat map, right? And then we have the volume bubbles. That is just these individual things. So this is like price. So imagine if price was, instead of candles, if it was a line, this is like showing you where price, right? So price was at the 52s here, and then price went up to the 59s or so. So it's just showing the direction of price, when and where it's going. And it's not based on a time frame, right? So it's just based on whatever speed of the tape you have it. So it's going to move as fast as you can zoom in. So if you can see, if I zoom in real tight, it's going to move faster and you'll be able to see the orders faster. But if you zoom out, you're going to see it on a much slower time frame. You're going to see things much bigger. So first things first, let's break down the heat map, right? This heat map is really made up of one thing: passive participants, okay? Passive participants, let's put this here. Oh boy. Passive participants, there we go. Passive participants are limit orders. So if you're familiar, let's go on a blank trading view chart, right? If you're familiar with obviously you clicked on this video, so you're familiar with trading and how to execute orders. So let's say that if I go up above price up here, I can do sell one limit, right? And so now I have a limit order, because there's two types of orders in the market, as you should know. There's market orders and limit orders, right? Market orders means get me in right now at the best, at whatever price that I can get. I just want to get in, right? So you can add order, and then you'll do buy the market, and that's going to get you in like right away. Whatever price is trading at, just give me that price. It's a market order, right? But if you have a limit order, that means you can basically set your order to only be triggered whenever price reaches a certain area. So let's say if I want to short the market, I want to short the market up here at 65, 71.65, the ES futures. So I don't want to get short in this market until price gets all the way up to the limit order that I have set up here at the 65s. So that means price has to come up, right? And so this is just the foundational concept of what's going on here. And so the same thing is true at the bottom, right? So let's say I only want to get long, I want to buy if price comes down to 71.50, just comes down to the 50s, then I'll get long, right? And so that would be here. So limit orders are essentially what we would call passive participants. And when we refer to these participants, we're mostly referring to big institutions, banks, hedge funds, algorithms, things like that. So those are the whales, the people that move the market, the people that matter, right? So what we really have going on here with these passive participants is limit orders. So the big players are setting limit orders, right? And so let's kind of just draw out like this example, okay? So let's say price is trading here, right? Let's say we're at $100, okay? Or for the sake of the example earlier, we'll say 7,100, right? Price is trading at 7,100. A passive participant would say, and let's say that I'm, a trader at Goldman Sachs, whatever, and I want to get into this market and I want to get short in this market. I have reason to believe this market can go down, so I want to get short in this market. So he's not gonna try and, usually they're not gonna try and hit the market. They're gonna put limit orders. So Goldman Sachs trader is gonna say, I want to get long here at 71.10. That's terrible. Let's try that. Change the color. Cool. So Goldman Sachs, right? We'll put banker, right? Mr. Banker wants to get short at 71.20, right? So he is going to wait until price, if it's price is trading here, right? He's going to wait until price comes up to 71.20 and he's going to get short. Okay? And that's whenever his, short position starts. We'll draw this out because this is for dummies, right? And so there's your take profit box, your stop loss, and your take profit. Anyway, you get the idea, right? And so that's when he'll get short right here. Goldman Sachs banker. So that is a passive participant. He is a passive participant. So he's not an aggressive participant. He's passive. So he's not actively hitting the market. He is sitting back and he's waiting for price to come up to 71.20. He's not going to execute at 7100. No, he's waiting for 71.20, right? And then he's going to get short. And then the same is true for Mr. Banker, right? If Mr. Banker wants to get long at 70.90, right? He wants to take this market long. He wants to buy it. We're going to put GS for Goldman Sachs banker. Goldman Sachs is the big, one of the big institutions. They move the markets a lot. So he wants to get long here, right? So price trading here. He won't execute until price comes down to his price level and then he gets filled, right? And now, as soon as price comes down and essentially touches, right, for Goldman Sachs banker, he's going to buy one ES and he's got a limit order. So he's a passive order. This is a passive order, passive participant. I'm a passive participant right now. This is my limit order. So as soon as price, and you know exactly what it looks like when price comes down and it touches this thing, okay, that's whenever he's going to get long. All right. Makes sense. Cool. So we've got the passive participants covered. That's what that means, right? And so let's put this into, let's remove the theory. Let's put this into real life, right? So now we can see we just have this regular chart and we'll go over the bubbles in a minute. So just imagine that they're, not bubbles and just like candles or lines or whatever, like that little black line I drew. So now we've got all this. So remember how limit order, Mr. Goldman Sachs GS banker puts his buy order on? That's his basically limit order, his limit buy order right here. So that's all that these lines are representing. Okay, they're just showing passive participants. They're showing who is in the market and where they want to get filled, right? So they're putting their limit orders down here. Okay, simple enough. And now let's talk about the colors of these things too, right? You see here we've got this this color shading system. Okay, so essentially what we've got going on is the lighter the color, the the further you get to the left, the less orders that there are, and the less dense. And then the further deeper red that you get, that means there more orders are sitting there. So remember this here, right? You could have, let's say that you have not one GS banker, but let's say we have 1,000, right? Or 1,000 contracts, 1,000 people. They want to get short, they want to get short at 71.10. Okay. So then we're going to start seeing this get really thick, right? And it's going to start. So it went from like light red to like really dark red. That means that things are getting heavy, right? For example, this is yellow right here, and there's only, and like I said, ignore this side, but just take this number. There's currently 90 contracts waiting to get filled at 71.61, basically. And then if you go a little higher, look, in the hundreds now, 100 and 101. It's a little bit of a darker color. And let's find something that gets a little bit more red, right? Okay, here, 71.70, 135. You see how it gets a little bit darker? That's it. And so I can even adjust the contrast here. And so there's just like basically just a few settings. There's not much. This is the contrast. And so, wow, look at that. So what we're doing with this contrast, I only want to show the heaviest orders that are visible. So if I had it off, this is showing me all of the orders. I mean, because obviously there's orders, passive orders sitting everywhere all the time. But I only want to see the ones that matter. I only want to see the ones that actually move the market. So we're going to kind of shade this down. And now we're only seeing the heavy stuff, the big hitters, the guys who matter, the whales. Okay. Now, basically, that kind of covers what all these lines mean. And then so you can see here that red one just popped up right here. That's someone trying to get long, and that's a heavy hitter, 112, 109, 110. You see that right there? And every time it pops up, it's going to like spike the amount right here. So you can see these big pieces 105 is kind of the biggest one right here, and that's this really dark color. Okay, cool. So then the aggressive participants are the market orders, the same as like we did the limit orders and stuff. You can also do the other one. So like if like on Top Step, when you hit buy and it buys it, oh, you're in immediately. Right now, I want to get filled right now. Right. Same thing is happening here. So there's not only the participant people, but there's all the passive people, but there's the aggressive people too. They're getting in the market right away. They want in right now. Okay. I hope this is all making sense. But really, what we've got here now to transition into from passive to aggressive, right? And so the aggressive people, they're filling right here. They're battling it out. They're getting filled right here. Okay, at wherever the price is at, whatever's trading at, they're executing right now. They're not chill. They're not waiting for price to come up and down, right? They're not waiting for that. They're here now. They want it now. Okay, and those are the battles between the buyers and the sellers. That's where that happens. And whoever, if there's more buyers than sellers, then price goes up. If there's more sellers than buyers fighting at that price, right? If they're fighting, and there's more buyers than sellers, and they're kind of outbidding them, right? Then the price is going to go up. And that's what moves the price up when there's more buyers than sellers, and then vice versa with the selling. Okay. And so now let's talk about the volume bubbles. Let's junk off the screen and just focus on this side, right? Ignore all this stuff. These bubbles is showing the total delta at that area. Okay. So let's talk about delta, right? All right. So if we've got a pie chart, and let's cut this in half. And let's say that this pie chart is at 71.50 on the ES, right? That's the price point that this has. So we're just going to see and just talk about what is going on at the price of 71.50. Okay. We've got 100 sellers and 100 buyers. So the moment that we look at it and we're seeing, okay, there's 100 sellers and 100 buyers. That means that the delta is going to be 0. All right. The delta is the difference between the buyers and the sellers. And so if the buyers and sellers are even, the delta is 0. Right. Now, what if it looked like this? Right. What if there was more buyers than sellers here at 71.50? Then that would give us a delta of positive 10. Right. You don't have to put the plus, but it would give us 10. All right. And then same idea, right? What do you think I'm going to do? Let's say there was 120 sellers and against the only 100 buyers. There's going to be a delta of negative 20, right? So let's say that there was 1,000 sellers to 100 buyers. I don't think this would happen. I mean, it could, but I don't think so. There would really be, what would be the delta, right? Negative 900. Okay. All right. You with me? And so now let's just leave this 71.50, right? And so let's say that the bubbles that we see on this thing, each bubble, let's say 71.60 is a big green bubble, right? So just like this, like if we've got a big bubble, let's say that we have 2 different bubbles on that chart here, right? This is going to have a positive 50 delta, this bubble, red bubble, and then this red bubble is going to have not positive, it's red, so we're going to do negative. Negative 50, and then negative 150. Okay, 3 times bigger, basically. So you see here how the bigger the delta, the bigger the bubble, and that's it. So this one right here had a really big delta. So I don't think I'll be able to get an exact number, but up here, kind of in like the 58.5s or 59s, we had a 450 positive delta. So there's going to be a really big bubble. But if we come over to somewhere like here, at the moment it was executed, there's like literally no delta. Okay. So all the size of the delta is really just, the size of the bubbles, and the bubbles is just showing us like the total delta in that area, right? So if there was a positive 1 delta, the bubble's gonna be really small. If there was a positive 1,000 delta, the bubble's gonna be really freaking big. Okay. So that's where we can see like some of these really big bubbles. At that moment, there was significantly more buyers than sellers, right? The delta was positive. And then down here, there's significantly more sellers than buyers because the bubbles are really big red bubbles. So that's really all that it's showing us, okay? And so now that should give you like a pretty solid understanding. So now we've got this a lot of stuff going on, but when you kind of just look at what matters and not all these little, fragments of things, and you see what matters, that's where you're really going to start to understand what you're looking at, right? And so we've got passive participants here, aggressive participants here, and then whenever we come, like essentially, let's take an example, right? Whenever we come down here to a place like where there's some passive orders sitting, what happens whenever the aggressive orders match the passive orders, okay? And I know this video is getting a little bit longer than it was, but just stick with me, right? Because we're almost done. So when we come up here to, let's say 7165, right? When we come up to 7165, we had a passive order, right? Goldman Sachs banker, Mr. Mann, has some limit sell orders sitting up here, right? And it's a limit sell because it's above price. If it's below price, it's a limit buy. But he's got some limit sell orders, just kind of waiting. He's just he put the order on and he's kind of sitting back, having his coffee. He's playing on his phone. He's like, well, if it hits it, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? He wants to get filled at a certain spot, and that's it. So we're coming up with these green bubbles, okay? And so then you can see the market is an auction, right? So everything is trading. So if he wants to get in sells, sell position, he needs to be matched with a buying position. So you've got all of these aggressive buyers coming up and meeting him in exchanging with him, right? Contracting with him, making a transaction, transacting. Okay. And so that's where that swap needs to happen. So you can know if one of these gets filled by seeing, was there a lot of his opposite meeting him there? So if you could see here, we had a dark red passive order waiting, and then we had a large, basically we had a large positive delta. So we know, okay, yeah. And then you also have a positive delta here too. So okay, for sure, he transacted with someone. He transacted with a buyer to fill his selling positions, right? Okay. So really the idea of this video is just to like make you understand what the hell is going on in this chart. And so just, one more time, we just have the passive people here and here, passive buyers, passive sellers, they're waiting, limit buyers, limit sellers, whatever you want to call it, limits, passive, same thing. And then you have the aggressive people. And so look how aggressive this is right now. There are huge red bubbles because there's way more sellers hitting the market than there are buyers. So they can't keep up, right? The buyers can't keep up, so the sellers are winning. And that's why this thing is dropping really aggressively. Okay. It's really as simple as that. I will save this for another video if that's something that you guys are interested in. But that's really all I have. So thank you for watching. Let me know if you have questions.